And welcome back to the channel. Today we've got our NBA predictions here for March 15th. We've got 8 games today in the National Basketball Association. And obviously we're going to predict every single one of them like we've been doing all year long. Headline tonight, I guess, by the Knicks and the Warriors over in the Chase Center, obviously in San Francisco, California. Obviously another big one being played in Detroit today between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Detroit Pistons. So we're going to predict every single one of these games, again, like we've done all year long. And folks, before we get into the predictions, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our college basketball best bets, so check that video out. That's linked in the description down below, along with our UFC fight night predictions. Tonight, Vittori Dolidze 2 in the UFC Apex on Greedo Plays MMA. Make sure to hit that subscribe button over there on Greedo Plays MMA. Subscribe to this channel, subscribe to this channel as well, as we get into now our 8 daily NBA predictions. We start things off in Brooklyn, New York, between the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are 10.5-point favorites here. I'm actually going to take the Nets to cover this point line. I know, again, it's Brooklyn at home against the Celtics, and it's the Nets. I have a weird feeling they cover here. Now, okay, I'll get this out of the way right away. Don't bet on this game. Just don't do it. I just think the way the Nets have been playing, they've been playing good enough just to lose recently. I know they have a lot of injuries, but at the same time, who knows who plays tonight for the Celtics? The Celtics, again, they know regardless of what happens tonight, let's just be honest, they're going to beat the Nets. So who actually plays, right? No Jaylen Brown yesterday against Miami. Kristaps Porzingis didn't play yesterday either. We'll see if they play today, but at the same time, all right, even if both those guys play, who's not going to play today as well? Because I doubt not all these guys, I think there's going to be somebody on the Celtics that doesn't play today who played yesterday, obviously, against Miami. And another thing, again, right? Boston was just down in South Beach. Now they got to come all the way up to Brooklyn to play the Nets. I mean, that's a far trip, obviously. Second half of a back-to-back. I actually think that the Nets are fine in this spot to cover 10.5 points. Again, I wouldn't play it personally because the Nets in their own right have a bunch of injuries, right? Cam Thomas still out today due to left hamstring injury management. Nick Claxton out today as well due to rest. Noah Clowney out due to a right ankle sprain. Trenton Watford is out as well with an ankle injury. So what does that leave Brooklyn with tonight? Well, D'Lo's still playing, obviously. We'll see Tyrese Martin. We'll probably see Zaire Williams, Cameron Johnson, and then I guess Day'Ron Sharpe at the center position. Again, it's not great, and do we expect them to beat the Celtics at all? No, but 10.5 points, sure, I guess they cover it. But again, don't pick this game. There are so many better games in the slate rather than Celtics and Nets. I just think, again, with Brooklyn being at home and the Celtics just playing yesterday and all the travel that Boston's had to do, I think the Nets can be somewhat competitive tonight. But again, there are much better games to pick, not this one in Brooklyn, New York. But the official picture is Nets plus 10.5. Let's go to our second game of the day, and we move to that game we talked about earlier in Detroit, Michigan at the Little Caesars Arena. The Detroit Pistons take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm taking OKC, right? I mean, OKC just went on the road and beat Boston by 6 points. They now go on the road to take on the Detroit Pistons, where they are 6.5-point favorites. The Pistons just lost to the Washington Wizards. That was on Thursday. It was a really bad loss. It was a game that Cade still had 38 points in, but ultimately the Wizards beat them by 4. 129-125 was the final score. It's an abysmal loss for the Detroit Pistons. It was shades of last season, that historically horrible season for the Detroit Pistons. But it's still a good team. They're 7 games over 500. Just a surprising loss to a Wizards team that I guess can surprise you sometimes, but just not a good loss at all. And don't look now, guys. The Utah Jazz are just 1 game out of potentially getting to the number 1 seed. I mean, number 1 pick, obviously, odds-wise. All that tanking that the Jazz have been doing is finally paying off. Hell, we told you the Raptors were going to go into Salt Lake City and win yesterday as dogs. Didn't matter who was out for the Raptors. They still beat the Jazz. The Jazz are trying to lose basketball games. In this spot, though, give me the Thunder to absolutely destroy the Pistons. OKC's dealing with injuries, right? I mean, no Chet tonight. He's out due to rest. Jalen Williams still out with that hip injury. He could be out for multiple weeks. Still, you know who's on this team? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, I know why Chet's not playing. It's because the Thunder play tomorrow. They have to go to Milwaukee tomorrow to play the Milwaukee Bucks. So obviously Chet's only going to play one of those 2 outings. So they choose tomorrow, obviously, instead of today. I guess the Thunder think that the Pistons are an easier matchup. And probably, right, this is a team that just lost to the Washington Wizards. Don't count Detroit out 100% though. But at the same time, right, the best player in basketball plays tonight. And no, he's not Nikola Jokic. Guys, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shot that many free throws against, a team, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shot, 22 free throws against the Los Angeles Lakers and had 34 points total. You would not hear the end of it. The same game Jokic had yesterday against the Lakers. Again, credit to the Nuggets. They win the game over the South Bay Lakers. I mean, Bronny and Markieff Morris are playing big minutes, and you got Russ. He's staring down the Lakers bench after they win. I mean, what are we doing? It's just, come on. You beat the South Bay Lakers, and you're really just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Anyways, if Shea had a game like that, my goodness, the free throw merchant talks wouldn't end. So just regardless of this, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is still the MVP. He's still the best player in the NBA. And I expect Shea to put up 40 tonight. He had a big game in Boston, 34-7, propelling his team to victory over a really good Boston Celtics team. And I expect the Thunder to go to Detroit and win too. And with the lack of help Shea's got tonight, I expect a huge game out the MVP and best player in the league, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. No Holmgren, no J-Dub. It's going to be all Shea tonight, and that's fine. SGA can put the backpack on when he needs to. Give him the Oklahoma City Thunder to go to Detroit, Michigan, and beat the Detroit Pistons. We go now to Houston, Texas for the Houston Rockets and the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls are 8.5-point favorites here. I'm going to take the Rockets are 8.5-point favorites, excuse me. Give me the Bulls on the road, plus 8.5. Don't mind it. Guys, the Bulls are hot right now. 4 straight wins over the Magic, Heat, Pacers, and Nets. I know they're hurt. They really are. Josh Giddey is out for a while. Okay. So initially, as Billy Donovan said, I think that Giddey was going to be out for an extended period of time. He's not playing tonight. I doubt it. He's doubtful to play in Houston tonight, but he's doubtful. That's better than automatically being ruled out. So if this Giddey injury is only maybe a couple more games, obviously Lonzo's still out tonight. Kobe White's probable, so expect him to play. But if Giddey's only out for a couple more nights, they play Utah on the road on Monday. They can easily win that game without Josh Giddey. If they can get Giddey back for that West Coast trip, the tough part of the West Coast trip, Phoenix, Sac, Lakers, Nuggets, there's a chance easily the Bulls could split those final 4 games. We expect them to beat the Jazz, but then Suns, Kings, Lakers, Nuggets, I could easily see them getting the Suns and the Kings. I'm just saying. I know those are on back-to-back nights. I could easily see them getting that, though. The way the Bulls are playing right now and just the lack of defense that the Kings and the Suns play. I know the Suns beat the Kings last night, but I could easily see a team with Giddey and with Kobe White playing the way he's playing right now, and Matas and Lonzo healthy. I don't know, man. I really like the Bulls right now. And even without Josh Giddey, they won, obviously. They beat the Nets, and again, that's a big deal if Josh Giddey's not out for an extended period of time. Do I think they beat the Rockets tonight? No, I don't think they do. I think they have a chance, obviously, and that's why we think they can cover the spread. Stylistically, I don't think the Bulls match up all that poorly with the Rockets. They are a high-scoring team. Yeah, the Rockets play great defense, but I think the Bulls are able to push a pace in the Rockets and give them trouble in some spots, honestly. I mean, I know Houston's on a big win streak in their own right. They won 5 in a row. Pels, Magic, Suns, and Mavericks, and obviously they destroyed the Mavericks because the Mavericks suck at basketball. They're just hurt, obviously, but still, I think the Bulls actually have a chance to win this game. I wouldn't mind Bulls money line. Personally, again, that's not the pick today. I think, again, if you force me on a pick, if I had to bet my life savings on either team to win the game outright, sure, I'd take the Houston Rockets at home. But I do think the Bulls cover the 8.5 points here. I think this team's more than capable. Kobe White and company have stepped up to the occasion, obviously, like they did in the Nets game. They stepped up without their best player, and I guess we can call him a star now, I guess, Josh Giddey, who, by the way, is only 22, 23. That's something that people always forget about Josh Giddey. He's still extremely young. The Bulls are just able to stay afloat without Giddey, man. I'm telling you, I think they're going to be the 8th seed. I think they're going to. I've always mapped out this Eastern Conference playing like this last couple weeks. Hawks beat probably the Magic. We got Bulls to go to Miami and beat the Heat. I think the Bulls go to Orlando and beat the Magic. But there's a chance, guys, the Bulls could be the 8th seed, like off rip. They could just get that game initially against the Hawks, and then they get the 2 chances to make the playoffs. I'm just saying. And I don't think it should come to the surprise of anybody. I'd much rather watch the Bulls in the playoffs over the Magic and the Heat. I know, again, neither of those teams stand a chance against Cleveland, but at least the Bulls will give you fun games. I easily could just see Miami and the Magic getting blown out all 4. Sure, the Bulls might get blown out in 3 of those games, but they'll give you a close game every once in a while. In this spot, though, Chicago plus 8.5. Rockets ultimately probably win the basketball game, but the pick is Chicago on the spread. Next up, let's go to Memphis, Tennessee, as the Miami Heat go to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. Again, the Heat suck. This team is ice cold right now. They have lost 6 games in a row to the likes of the Cavs, Timberwolves, Bulls, Hornets, Clippers, and Celtics. They're going to continue to lose. They just lost yesterday to Boston. Second night of a back-to-back. Now they got to go on the road to take on the Grizz. Oh, yeah, they're losing. Now the Grizzlies obviously tried to, unseat the Cavaliers of their win streak. Obviously, they were unsuccessful in their attempt yesterday. Jaren Jackson came back. John Morant scored 44 points, but ultimately, right, Cleveland still won the game by 9 points. It was, Memphis made a push at the end of the game, but really Cleveland, they felt like they were in control of that entire basketball game. I doubt Jaren Jackson plays tonight. Just came back. I doubt he plays the second night of a back-to-back. He hasn't officially been ruled out, or he's not even on the injury report just yet, but I'd expect Jaren Jackson to not play tonight personally. But that's fine. John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jalen Wells and company, they'll be fine tonight. Guys, the Heat don't offer them anything. Miami, they're just done. I don't know what to say. They're 8 games under 500. They're absolutely horrible. Adebayo is still doing his thing, sure. I guess Andrew Wiggins is still trying to figure out this team. I mean, I guess he had his best performance for this Miami squad last night against Boston, scoring 23. Just the Heat don't move me at all. They're not good. Adebayo and Hero, right, are all-stars, but they're just not doing enough. They're playing decently, but ultimately what the Heat have right now is not enough for them to win basketball games, and we don't expect them, obviously, to beat the Grizzlies. I think this game gets away from them pretty quickly. Second night of a back-to-back for Miami. I get it's the same thing for Memphis, but Miami's the team that's had to travel. Miami's the team that's ice cold. I do think they randomly pick one up here in Memphis, and I expect the Grizzlies to blow them out at the same time. So, again, we look at Miami, they're 8 games under. They're going to go to 9 games under, making it a 7-game losing streak with a loss tonight in the FedEx Forum over the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's move on to our next game. It will be our fifth of the day. We go to Milwaukee for the Bucks and the Pacers. I'm taking Pacers spread. I'm taking Pacers money line as well. Yeah, the Pacers are going to go to Milwaukee and beat the Bucks, right? We just saw this game the other day in Indianapolis. Tyrese Halliburton with the and 1 3 to win the basketball game over the Bucks. They won yesterday. The Pacers did in Philadelphia. They were down early in that game, but obviously the Pacers regrouped and ended up winning the game by 12 points. We expect them to beat Milwaukee tonight. The Bucks, I don't care. The Bucks beat the Lakers without LeBron and with Alex Len starting at center. Why Alex Len's playing over Christian Koloko, I don't know. Obviously, that got fixed yesterday. I get Koloko's no savior, but he's much better than Alex Len. Anyways, guys, the Bucks have still only won 1 of their last 4. It's the Lakers. 3 games prior to that, lost to the Pacers, obviously with the Halliburton game winner. Cleveland and Orlando lost all 3 of those games. I know, again, this game is at home for the Bucks tonight. It starts a back-to-back for them because they'll take on the Thunder on ESPN tomorrow night. But yeah, I like Indiana here. I don't mind the spread. I don't mind the money line either, though. I'm telling you guys, this team's different when Tyrese Halliburton's back in the lineup. They're just different. And Tyrese is playing much better ball, right? They lost 3 in a row without Tyrese. Halliburton comes back. They win back-to-back games over the Bucks and 76ers. He is a playmaker. He facilitates the offense. He is a difference maker for the Indiana Pacers. And that difference maker is only going to continue tonight against Milwaukee. I'm taking the Pacers to win the game outright. I know they're 5.5-point dogs. Don't care. They're fairly healthy. Halliburton's playing. Halliburton's past the injury, obviously, for Milwaukee. Dame and Giannis show up on the injury report every single night, but they're both probable. Giannis with the calf injury, Lillard with the groin injury. They're both going to play, but hell, I just saw the Pacers beat this team, both these teams at full strength the other day in Indianapolis. I don't think much changes. I get it's in Milwaukee, but the Bucks have not been playing their best ball. I think Indiana wins this game by more this time, obviously, because they won the last game by 1 point. But yeah, give me Pacers plus 5.5, Pacers money line. I like them to go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and beat the Bucks on a second night of a back-to-back. We go on out to our 6th game of the day, and we go to San Antonio, Texas for the San Antonio Spurs and the New Orleans Pelicans. What a joke the Spurs are, right? I mean, they couldn't even beat the Hornets on their own court. They lost 145-134 to the Charlotte Hornets. I was thinking, De'Aaron's out, but still they should be able to, find a way to beat Charlotte. No, they lose to the Hornets. Oh, they're just abysmal. They're abysmal. They're absolutely horrible, man. Full-on capture the flag mode. So from here on out, guys, we're picking against the Spurs pretty much at all costs. I don't think they have a Jazz game lined up, right? No, they don't got to play the Jazz. So I have no reason to believe the Spurs are going to win another game this season. Now, they're going to try to play their Super Bowl on Monday because they go to Los Angeles to play the Lakers on a second night of a back-to-back for the Lakers. But, seriously, look at their schedule. Who do the Spurs beat down the stretch? I mean, sure, again, they'll squeak out one of these games. Oh, Philly at home. They'll beat the Sixers. I don't know. I wouldn't project the Spurs to be favorites to win another game the rest of the year. Second night of a back-to-back tonight, taking on the New Orleans Pelicans, former New Orleans Hornets. And I think the Pels win this one fairly easily. They're coming off a loss in their own right to the Orlando Magic. But Zion's playing tremendous basketball. I think, again, Williamson is kind of rewriting these narratives about him. I think, again, prior to Zion coming back from this recent injury, it was kind of the thought behind Zion was, all right, Williamson's back again, but he's kind of just, he's injury prone now. He doesn't want to be on the court. Well, Williamson's been playing great ball this season, and Zion now, all of a sudden, it's coming to a point where, all right, are the Pelicans going to move on from the Zion Williamson era? And if they do, the package they're going to get for Zion is going to be absolutely huge, because it looks like Zion, again, I'm not going to say he's on superstar level, but Zion does, again, look like a bona fide career all-star. So I don't know what happens for the future of both the Pelicans and Zion Williamson, but what we do know tonight is this guy is playing tonight for the Pels. They played on, Thursday, so there's no rest for Zion tonight. They're going to run right through the San Antonio Spurs. 2.5 points is not enough. I know, again, the Spurs have a better record, but look at what the Spurs have playing tonight and look what the Pelicans have playing tonight. The Pelicans are pretty much at full strength. I don't know if Yves Missy's playing or not, but again, the Pels are pretty much at full strength. And the Spurs, obviously, no Chris Paul's playing, but no De'Aaron Fox, no Victor Wembanyama. Again, we saw an expanded role yesterday for Stephon Castle against the Hornets, and Castle had 30 plus. But just Stephon Castle, who likely can probably win the Rookie of the Year, is not going to be enough for the Spurs to win this basketball game. The Pelicans are the all-around better basketball team with Trey Murphy, with Zion Williamson, and with CJ McCollum. I'm taking the Pels to go on the road and beat the Spurs. They are 2.5 point favorites. I expect them to cover that line. Give me New Orleans on the road here in San Antonio, Texas. We go on to our 7th game of the day. It's the game on the marquee, the Golden State Warriors taking on the New York Knicks. I'm kind of split on who wins. I'll probably go Warriors just because of how well the Warriors have been playing with Jimmy Butler, right? 2 losses in the Jimmy Butler era. The Warriors have now found themselves as the 6th seed in the Western Conference. If they win tonight, they're only going to be 2 games back the Los Angeles Lakers, who are currently the 5 seed. And now, obviously, the Lakers on a 4-game losing streak. I expect them to bounce back on Sunday and start racking up wins with Hachimura, LeBron, and Hayes coming back. But here's what it is, and Luka, obviously, as well. I'm 50-50 on who wins the basketball game. And I know Jalen Brunson's out for the Knicks still. I just think New York's done a decent job without him, right? I know they lost the Clippers game in their first game adjusting without Brunson, but back-to-back victories after that, they beat the Kings and obviously the Mikal Bridges game-winning shot in Portland, Oregon over the Blazers on Wednesday night. They've had, a couple days since. This is the very end of their road trip. Actually, they end the road trip, go back to New York on Monday, then back on the road on Wednesday and Thursday in San Antonio and Charlotte, and then back at home the next Saturday. Who made that schedule, I don't know. But anyways, they do get to go home after this, at least for one game. And they've had a couple days off since that Blazers spot. I like the matchup Karl Anthony Towns gets tonight. And I say it a lot because, Cat's that good. Cat's a top 5 player for MVP this season. I like the matchup he gets tonight. He'll probably get Quentin Post on him all night long. I think that's a very favorable matchup for Karl Anthony Towns. The Knicks are expanding this rotation a little bit, which makes them a little bit more playable. Now, don't get me wrong. Are the Knicks a viable threat to actually win the Eastern Conference this season? No, they're not. The Knicks are going nowhere in the playoffs. I still think, the way things are right now, they're a first-round exit. No, they beat the Pistons. Yeah, they beat the Pistons. They're a second-round exit, right? The Knicks will lose in the second round of the Boston Celtics easily, right? Pistons, they'll get the Pistons in a 7-game series. If that's Indiana, though, they lose. If they play Indiana or Milwaukee in the first round, they're losing 100%. Pistons out. They're not ready for that. Anyways, I like the matchup a lot for Karl Anthony Towns tonight. I think he's going to dominate either Draymond Green or Quentin Post, regardless of who he sees. And I get it against Steph. It has been on. He didn't have a great game the other night against, I think it was last game Sacramento, right? Didn't have a great game, but obviously, again, the Warriors still did enough to win because, again, the supporting cast around Curry is really starting to show up. Draymond led their team in scoring against the Kings with 23, and Jimmy Butler has been very good, just as, again, presence-wise and, locker room leadership, and obviously just defensively, too. Jimmy's been great, and we expect, obviously, Butler to turn it up in the playoffs as well. The Warriors have won, 6 in a row? Haven't lost since March 1st, but they lost in Philly to the 76ers. That doesn't make sense. But anyways, I'm taking the Knicks to cover 6.5 points. I think it's too many. The Knicks have been playing decently, and they've been playing close ball. Who wins the game? I'm split. I'll go Knicks money line. The Warriors got to lose eventually, man. They're not unbeatable, and the Knicks are a type of team that can beat them. I've been very impressed about how the Knicks have been playing without Brunson. I think they actually go to San Francisco and beat the Warriors tonight. Let's go into our final game of the slate. I'm not going to take too much time on this one, I'll be honest with you. Our 8th game is the Denver Nuggets and the Washington Wizards. I wouldn't bet it, obviously. The Nuggets are 12.5 point favorites. Don't touch it, just because I don't expect many Nuggets players to play tonight. They played their Game 7 last night against the Lakers G League team, and they won. Russ thinks he's all tough by, getting a game-winning steal against Shake Milton. Okay. The Nuggets shot, 25 more free throws than the Lakers? It's okay. I want the Nuggets in the first round now. For the longest time, I was like, oh, I don't want to see Denver in the playoffs. I want to see Denver now. The whole mindset prior to the last couple games that the Lakers played Denver was, oh, if we get the Nuggets, we're screwed. Or maybe we can beat them, but let's not get them to the conference finals. No, I want the Nuggets in the first round now. I want a 3-6 Lakers-Nuggets matchup. Probably not going to get that, I'll be honest with you, because I don't think the Lakers are going to fall to 6. But still, I want that matchup in the second round. I want it. The team I want to avoid is OKC. And if they have to play them, they have to play them. But I'm not scared of the Nuggets anymore. This team's not good. They're just not. They're not ready for prime time. They're not better than the Lakers. They're not better than OKC. They're not better than the Cavs, Celtics. They're Milwaukee. They're not better than those squads. They're not. I don't know. I kind of just assume Milwaukee's going to be better in the playoffs. I don't know. Knicks at full strength. I'm taking the Knicks over the Nuggets. I am. They don't play defense. I wouldn't touch this game. I think the Nuggets cover, but I don't know. I mean, the Wizards are coming off a victory over the Pistons, right? Expect a lot of Nuggets to not play tonight. Jamal Murray, who knows? Aaron Gordon's definitely not playing. He didn't play 3 straight games before the Lakers game. He randomly came back, and obviously he's going to go back on the injury report. We'll see. Don't touch this game. Nuggets probably cover, but I don't know, right? Wizards coming off victory. I believe Washington's fairly healthy going into this game. Brogdon's out. Bilal Coulibaly's out, but Jordan Poole's playing and Chris Middleton and company. I don't know. Just stay away. If you force me on a pick, I'll take Denver minus 12.5, but this is the last game you should be betting today. I'm serious. If anything, honestly, I think the over probably is already high. I'd probably actually take the under for this game. Second night of a back-to-back for the Nuggets. 238? Yeah, low-key, I'd take the under here tonight. Kind of goes against what I say about Nuggets defense. I just don't think they're going to be able to score at that great of a clip tonight. So actually, I'll go the under tonight. I don't usually pick over-unders, but I guess that's my play for this. Nuggets spread, I guess, and the under. But this is the last game I bet today. I'd even take the Nets Celtics game over this. Just don't touch it. So folks, thank you all for watching our NBA predictions here for March 15th. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily NBA predictions and college basketball best bets. Folks, thank you all for watching, and Mamba forever.